Well, in the most predictable development in any Football Manager series ever, the star man since the last episode has been Diarra. Hello and welcome to part 224 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have, we're playing Preston in the Premier League. It's going to be a chance to score some goals, hopefully. But the real game I'm here to show you is the home version of the Atletico Madrid game we saw yesterday. And I didn't want to show you Blackburn in the League Cup that we still haven't managed to get knocked out of yet. So Preston win a bit of video time by default since you were last with me. This is what's been happening. We have lost a Premier League game at home to Manchester United. The invincible season is not happening this season, but we have been pretty dominant in everything else. Carlos Augusto has been injured for most of this period of time, so Diarra has had that run of games in the team that I said he needed. And would you believe? He's played very well, averaging a 7.38 this season, 2 goals, 3 assists, a man of the match. The form is very much weighted to his last few games as well, since he's got that little run of games. He's played in 4 of the last 5. He's played quite a lot of games over the last sort of 10 or 12 games, in fact, and he's played himself into some incredible form. And hopefully you're going to see more of that again in today's episode. Augusto is now fit again-ish, but I'm not putting him straight back into the team. He's not even fit enough to be on the bench really today, if we can just find him. He has passed a fitness test to do 45 minutes, but why give him 45 minutes when we can do a bench like that and not include him on it? It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Apologies for any background noise you might be hearing. The bin men decided to arrive just as I started my video. I think I managed to pause through the really bad part of it. They are still out there, but they're not currently beating the side of the lorry outside my house, which I assume that's what was happening before. Just like 5 of them, massive sticks or spades or something in their hand, just banging the side of the bin truck like a drum. At least that's what it sounded like. The other thing I wanted to tell you before we got into today's matches is that this fella, remember him? He's in the form of his life, playing for Paris Saint-Germain, and the Ballon d'Or, which is going to be announced in less than a month's time, is apparently a coin toss between Mira and Thor. They are the 2 best players in the world, the 2 best strikers in the world. Thor has very much blossomed since Mira has moved up. They're both benefiting from not being in each other's way, I think. Mira's gone to Paris Saint-Germain. He's playing as a striker. He's scoring goals for fun. But then Thor is still here at home, out and out first choice striker, scoring goals for fun. So he might not be on the 7.89 rating, but he's scored as many goals as Mira has. So I know which one I'd rather have. The one that wanted to be here, the one that's still here. But this is the team that we're playing against Preston. We've got Powell in goal, a back four of Silvio, Juranovic, Lee and Mayer. Don't panic that Silvio's in the team. Alith's injured. I haven't forgotten Alith exists. So Silvio is in the team. Candemil is fit again as well and has played a few games, but very much my 3rd choice at left back now. We are probably going to look to move Candemil on in January. So Pancic and Bogarski in midfield. Bogarski playing a lot of games now that he's got his head screwed on right. He has signed the new contract. We forced him to sign on the touchline in the last episode, and as a result he now wants to be here. He's playing games. He's not setting the world alight, but he's doing what we talked about him doing 2 years ago, which is being that tough tackling midfielder that we kind of signed Robert to be as well. But now we've got 2 of them, so we can rotate our tough tackling midfielder between Bogarski and Robert. And then we've got Zupancic, we've got Cristiano, we've got Ribeiro, who can all play as the playmaker in midfield. And I think we actually have some nice balance in midfield now, where we've got a couple of players for each position. And in that position, we've got 1 world-class player, 1 old man full of experience, and 1 up-and-coming wonder kid. Diaby would be the other guy vying for that position if it wasn't for the fact he had a grumpy on. I mean, he's not as defensively minding as the other 2, and I guess of the 6 midfielders that we've got, he's the one who doesn't really fit into that new look midfield. I think he'd probably be best off playing in the box-to-box midfield position that we don't use anymore. But he's this year's Diaby anyway, this year's Bogarski anyway. He's got a proper grump on. He doesn't want to be here because he thinks I signed Walter Silva to play in his position, even though they play in a different position. Hervé doesn't understand what the Champions League is and that we won it. We'll move Diaby on if we have to. We've got a lot of midfielders, and like I say, he doesn't fit into the way our midfield plays at the moment. The rest of the team, we have Diarra, Silva and Flager behind Thor up front. let's get into the match. And hopefully Diarra carries on in the incredible form that he's been in the last few games. It's not just that he's been playing well and scoring goals and creating goals. Everything has gone through Diarra. For the last 3 matches, he has looked like the best player in the world. And I mean, we talked about it on yesterday's video. This might just be exactly what he needed, a little run in the team at a time when it actually is going to make a difference as well, because his runs in the team in the past have all previously been right at the end of the season when the league was already won, and yeah, he looked good, but we weren't really paying that much attention because it didn't really matter. Now he's looking good in important games in the middle of the season. We've got the World Club Championship coming up. Not that we've been told when it is or who we're playing yet, but I assume that still takes place in December. And that's going to involve a lot of games being played at the same sort of time. So he's going to be very much a part of that as well. And Augusto's going to have to do his best to get himself back in the team. But here is Diarra, plays it across to Flager, and Flager should have scored there. That was a lovely chance laid on by Diarra. And Preston have picked up an injury. Bless their cotton socks. They've got Liam Dobson in their midfield, former Holme. I think he was only here on loanee, but on loanee. I think he was only here on loan. But he's just got himself a yellow card as well. And we build down the right-hand side through Mayer, who charges past his man, plays it across. I think he was looking for Diarra. It didn't make it all the way there, but Silva made it look good. And Diarra crosses to Thor, who I think has won a penalty. And it's not the most fluent, free-flowing move you'll ever see. Silva showing his quality by making a bit of a dodgy move look good. And it's a decent cross. Thor didn't really look like he was going to connect with it, but I guess that's because he was being held down by the guy who was marking him, because we have won the penalty and the opportunity to put ourselves 1-0 up in this match. I mean, there should be no worry at all in this match. This should be a match that we just win comfortably. Thor is there with the penalty, and it's saved, in fact. Wowzers. I hope the Ballon d'Or judges aren't here watching today. Diarra with the corner. Thor is there again, but can't quite get onto it. We have got both Young and Balde on the bench today if we feel the need to switch things up a little bit with Thor. Young has scored a few goals this season. What a goal from Walter Silva. That is what this team has been missing since Robert Costa's demise. We haven't had the midfield player who can just turn a game on its head the way Walter Silva has just done. And this is incredible. His 6th goal of the season already for us. And it is one of the best. This is what we used to say about Costa. He used to be like a goal of the season machine. And that's what Silva's just done. That's one of the best goals anyone will score in a home shirt all year. It was brilliant. And now we look to build down the right-hand side again through Flager. Flager crosses towards Diarra. Diarra's there. Diarra scores. It's his 4th goal of the season. I told you how well he'd been playing. And that is a lovely little finish. I think that's 4 games in a row Diarra's scored in now, actually. And I was sure he'd scored a double in one of them. So I don't know how that's only his 4th. By my count, that's his 5th goal in 4 games. But maybe he didn't score in the last match, because I'm pretty sure he had a game where he scored twice. But it's a lovely finish. A lot of credit goes to Flager as well for setting it up. And it doesn't matter that Thor seems to be misfiring a little bit today, because those around him are picking up his slack, which is exactly what a quality team does. There's Dobson in midfield again, trying to spread the play out to this left-hand side, but it's taken care of by Flager and Mayer, and the ball's played back forward to Flager again, who once again tries to get things moving down this right-hand side. Another cross, looking for Thor this time rather than Diarra. It ends up back with Flager, and there's Silvio on the left-hand side. Cross comes in, Flager's got himself onto the end of it and heads just wide. That's 2 big chances for Flager now today, and I would suggest he'd be feeling a little bit disappointed that he hasn't put either of them away. He's looked very dangerous, apart from when it comes to his end product, where he's been just a smidgen wasteful so far. But 2-0 up at half-time in any Premier League game is fine by me. And look at the state of Thor. He's down to a 6 on his rating at the moment. I don't know that I've ever seen Thor play this poorly. We'll give him 10-15 minutes, and then I think we're going to bring on Ben Young. If we score again before then, we'll bring on Balde. I think 3-0 up is when you can think, okay, let's try out the youngster. 2-0 up, maybe not just yet. Mayer looking for Zupancic. Zupancic is there. Zupancic scores. And we know he can do that from that kind of range. And it's always delightful when it happens. But that is the cue to bring on Balde, I think. I don't want to watch the replay. I want to make that change. Let's bring Balde on for Thor. and give him a good 35-minute run out. I think this is the most Premier League football he'll have played. I don't think he's started a game yet. Calvillo has actually been getting more game time as a young up-and-coming striker. The issue with him, and I think he's probably going to become more of a Ben Young kind of player, because he's not quite complete forward material, that is very effective playing as an inside forward on either side, and I think that's what Ben Young is becoming as well. He's very handy as an attacking player, but isn't an out-and-out goal scorer, whereas Balde, natural complete forward, natural goal scorer, and I think Balde might be the one who ends up being the proper third choice out and out striker alongside Thor and Augusto, with Calvillo and Young just being kind of utility men a little bit further forward. But Bogarski has picked up an injury, and I hope he's not broken his leg, because after all the troubles we've had with him over the recent years, he has finally forced his way into the team. He's been playing well, and to see him go off injured like that is sad. Silvio is another one who's now picked up a little bit of a knock. We don't actually have a left back on the bench, but he needs to come off regardless. Joksimovic is going to come on. We'll stick Mayer out there. Mayer's the experienced guy. You let Joksimovic play in his natural position. Mayer can play out of position for 10 minutes. I'm sure he'll be fine. Let's praise the team as well, because we are playing very well. It's a shame Balde hasn't really taken advantage of getting this big chunk of game time, not really seen anything of him at all. Apart from, Silva tries to play the ball over the top for him. It doesn't beat the first man. Robert now going to look to do the same thing. We've got 30 seconds left. Let's get Balde a goal, just to give him a nice little confidence booster. Robert now doing his midfield tackling thing that I like to see so much. Mayer, it seems weird having Mayer down this left-hand side, but there is Balde. First touch I think we've seen him have in almost an entire half of football. Joksimovic back to Zupancic, and now Robert, Zupancic again, Silva. We're knocking the ball around nicely, just keeping hold of it. But once again, I think Diarra, another man of the match performance. It was, in fact, a 9 out of 10, a goal, an assist. Diarra is very good, and that was actually the 100th appearance of his career. 22 years old. Gonna say they can't all be for us, but I mean, he must have played 50 games for us now. Only 67 league appearances. I guess that, again, that's about right. He's played a lot of games in the League Cup and stuff like that over the years. But 100 appearances for Diarra now. I guess it is about time he forced his way into the team after 100 games at 22 years old. And now we go and play Atletico Madrid. We are already qualified from our Champions League group, but because of the draw against them early on, and also we almost lost against Torino, it was a late, I won't say last minute, but late equaliser in the away game against Torino. It almost was last minute. A Thor hat-trick saving us there, but 3-3 away at Torino means going into this last game, we're level on points with Atletico at the top of the group. They've got better goal difference. We drew 0-0 with them in the first match, so a 0-0 draw, they go through. I think presumably a score draw, they go through. Well, we both go through, but they're top of the group. But I think a score draw, either on goal difference or on away goals, is going to put them through. So if we want to finish top of this group, like we always do, we need to beat Atletico Madrid. Let's just see what's up with Bogarski. It's only a gash. He'll be fine. Right, a few changes for the Atletico game, then a couple of them forced upon us, a couple of them entirely voluntary. Candemil comes in at left back for the suspended Silvio, who got sent off in the last round. Aleph still injured. Candemil had been asking for more game time anyway, so we'll consider this his last hurrah, because I do suggest he's probably going to be leaving in January if we get a decent offer for him. As much as it would be nice to keep him to the end of the season, I don't want to risk him getting unhappy, and he's already come to me to say he's not playing enough games. He's not showing up on there yet, but as club captain, we really need to keep him happy. And if we have a look on his player report, he's not the same quality as Silvio and Aleph, and is a good 6 or 7 years older than both of them. Robert also comes into midfield for the injured Bogarski, and Drame and Goff come in for Silva and Flager, who both drop down to the bench, just really as a rotation thing. I know we're playing against Atletico Madrid, but we are also already qualified from the group, and it's not like we lessen the quality of the team massively by doing that. And Goff and Flager are interchangeable anyway. And Drame, I want to make sure I continue to give him as many games as possible, because slightly differently to the Mendes situation, Drame is obviously a couple of years younger than Mendes. Mendes we kind of wrote off when Silva came in, whereas Drame is 6 years younger than Silva. He's still only 20 years old, I think, maybe 21 now. He still has plenty of time to fulfill his 5-star potential that he still has and become an absolute world superstar. So he's younger than Diarra, as an example. We want to continue to give him game time to continue his development, and that is the ball forward from Drame and a stunning finish from Thor. And with 2 minutes on the clock, we're 1-0 up, and that puts us top of the group. And that was excellent from all involved. The pass from Drame is exceptional, but the finish from Thor is even better. He has no right to even win that ball, but to be the first there, to hit it first time, and to hit it so perfectly that it goes in at that near post, it was just excellent all round. And here's Candema with the throw, finds Diarra, flicks it on, looking for Drame, who can't quite get there, but we are pressing back onto their goalkeeper again. This is lovely. I love the high pressing game that we play. It's a wonderful thing. And here's Robert playing it out wide to Mayer. We've got men over on both sides of the pitch. Thor's there again. 7 minutes on the clock now, and it's 2-0 to Holme. A 16th goal of the season for Thor. He might not have turned up for the last match, but goodness me, has he turned up for the big match against one of the, like we said in the first game against Atletico, one of only 5 teams in the entire world who now still have a higher reputation than us. And Thor has decided that's a state of affairs that he cannot allow to continue, and has decided to hammer them. To hammer them the way Thor does. He's surely Ballon d'Or, Mr. Ballon d'Or. Again, he's won it previously. Mira hasn't. Yes, Mira's got a higher average rating this season, but Thor's scored more goals. And when they were both here, which they were for more than half the year, for the Ballon d'Or to be awarded him, Thor was the one keeping Mira out of the team. So surely Thor picks up a second Ballon d'Or. When it comes to the judging of that, which we won't even find out that next episode, because next episode is going to be the World Club Championship, because just the novelty of it. I do it. I think it'll only be the second time in my history of YouTube that I'm going to have done a World Club Championship. So got to show you that. Goth is there to make it 3-0, and I think it's safe to say at this point that we have topped our group, and we're dominating Atletico even more than we dominated Preston. Which, I mean, I guess that shows we've got a team full of big game players, which is lovely. 3-0 after 24 minutes. Surely we can't mess it up from here. Goff very much enjoyed that goal as well. His little old man celebration. He's giving it the dad dance. I mean, he's the oldest player. Not only the oldest player in the squad now. Yeah, no, he is the oldest player in the squad, the oldest player in the team. But I don't remember any other time in the series, apart from really early on where we had like James Hayter back in the first season. Have we ever had a player as old as him as a regular player for us? It's a bit unusual for us to have players over 30 in the team, but Goff's well over 30 now. He's like 33, pushing 34 years old. Perhaps he's not quite that old. We need to check in with him to see how old he is. But normally I've moved players on by now. So he is very much the granddad of the team and can go off doing his little dad dance here and there. And for those of you getting offended and me calling 33 old, I'm obviously older than that in real life. As soon as you turn 30, you're old. Everyone knows they're the rules. I've been old for many years. On YouTube, I'm 26. That'll always be that's my YouTube age. Maya with the tackle that doesn't actually help us at all. The tackle almost ended up working like a through ball. They've hit a very effective effort, but it comes back off the crossbar. Powell's flapping his arms around, missing it entirely, but thankfully it did cannon back off the crossbar and we got away with it. Let's just tell them not to get complacent. I guess that is the one fear in this second half. I know this is probably annoying some of you. I correct it every time I do a video. Well, okay, not every time. 80% of the videos I correct this, and for whatever reason, I think it's when we switch back between the Champions League and the Premier League, because they both take up different amounts of space, it messes up the formatting on that left-hand side. So I just don't bother anymore. just leave it as it is, because it'll be broken again in the next match, even if I change it. So we may as well just leave it broken. Saves me time that way. Maya with the big deep cross finds Diarra. Diarra across to Drame, and Drame has his 5th goal of the season now, and we're 4-0 up. And the most exciting thing about this is the fact that Atletico are being torn apart by 2 of our kids. Drame and Diarra are both having really very good games, and they're both players who at the start of the season you wouldn't have necessarily expected to be a part of a big game like this, but they're running the show between the 2 of them. Obviously Goff, Thor, both playing very well. I mean, the entire front 4 is playing very well, and that's without Silva, without Flager, without Carlos Augusto. That's quite an impressive situation to be in. Diarra is tiring though. In fact, not as much as Goff. Goodness me, he needs to come off. Forget. Oh, we haven't got a left back on the bench to bring. Candemill can just stay on. We're not going to have many more Candemill appearances. I'm looking at fitness levels, and there's quite a few of them who are dropping a little bit. We don't have a central midfielder on the bench either. Who picked this bench? This is ridiculous. Let's get Joksimovic on there. We'll do an entire new right-hand side of the pitch. I think I probably am going to take Diarra off for Carlos Augusto, not necessarily because Diarra's done anything wrong, but because he is tiring, and Carlos Augusto is recovering from injury, so it makes sense to get some game time into him. So I think we'll give it maybe another 60 seconds. At the end of this highlight, we're going to make that change. Carlos Augusto on for Diarra. And I hope Diarra doesn't take it the wrong way and think that, oh, he's fit again. That's me back to relegated to being the backup player again. It's not that at all. I just want to get some fitness back into one of my other wonder kids. I fully expect to continue playing Diarra unless Augusto comes on and scores a hat-trick from the left wing, in which case I'll obviously have a decision to make. Thor now has his hat-trick, and I'm now thinking, I wonder if that's where we bring Augusto on, actually. Because, I mean, fitness-wise, yeah, I'm going to do that. The main reason for not taking Thor off before was to let him finish his hat-trick. But you know what? He's finished his hat-trick now. We're 5-0 up. Let's bring him on for Thor and let Diarra play out the full match again, because he deserves the opportunity to just stay out there for the entire match. Candemill, that might be the last assist we ever see from Candemill. Although with Alith injured, there's a chance Candemill is still going to play a part in the World Club Championship that you'll see in the next episode. So actually, it's probably not the case at all, especially in the semi-final when we're likely to be playing against a team I've never heard of. There's a very good chance we'll do quite a lot of rotation in that game. I want to go to that tournament, and I think we've got a squad of 25 players. I want every single one of the 25 to get some game time during that tournament, because I don't care if we win it or not. I know a lot of you get a little bit fussy about, oh, you should try and win every tournament that you're in. Nah, I'm not bothered. I'll just try and win the ones that affect the Hall of Fame really significantly, and the World Club Championship doesn't, as far as I'm aware. I couldn't even tell you who the current holders of the World Club Championship are in real life. And I know I'm not fully into football, but I know who won the Champions League. I know who won the Europa League. I know who won the Premier League. I know who won La Liga and the Bundesliga. I haven't got a clue who won the World Club Championship. And to me, that tells me everything I need to know about whether or not we should take it seriously. All that being said, make sure you tune in to tomorrow's video, because it's going to be all about that tournament and it's going to be lovely. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.